in his conduct of the office of President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, in violation of his constitutional oath, faithfully to execute the office of President of the United States, and to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and in violation of his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, abused the powers of the presidency when he disregarded the doctrine of separation of powers by usurping Congress's power to declare war and ordered the United States military to bomb another country without the constitutionally mandated congressional authorization or notice to Congress.
All right. So while Democrats are pretending to lose their mind about Donald Trump again, we have Al Green now bringing forth yet again articles of impeachment against Trump. This is a story we've heard before, right? We're going to hear it for the next 3.5 years, and God forbid that Democrats get the Congress in the next election, 2026. It'll be disastrous. So anyways, while Al Green and AOC and other congressional Democrats make a joke of themselves pretending that Donald Trump is doing things that no president has ever done before, I can tell you that in my lifetime, I'm 53 years old, and in my lifetime, every president that has ever been elected has made strikes against other nations without any congressional approval. But they want us to believe that this time it's different. I even saw Rand Paul, who, isn't really a Trump fan, but I saw him saying, well, just because we've done it before doesn't mean that we have to keep doing it. But once Donald Trump's out of office, I can guarantee you they'll go right back to the status quo and bombing countries indiscriminately with zero complaint or backfire from congressional members, because that's the way it's done, right? So while Democrats are claiming that Donald Trump needed to get congressional approval, even though no president in my entire lifetime through history has ever needed congressional approval to strike another nation who is a clear threat to America, we have Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, with a different view, and I'd like to share that with you. I found this on Mediaite, and it's interesting because he thinks, similar to what I do, that the president shouldn't need congressional approval to strike out against our nation, threats against our nation. That seems only logical to me, that he wouldn't need that sort of gain that sort of approval. But anyways, let's get into this article. We'll talk more about it on the other side. Mike Johnson wants Trump to have more war powers, says law requiring congressional approval is unconstitutional. I tend to agree, as I said. House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican from Louisiana, told reporters on Capitol Hill on Tuesday that he believes President Donald Trump should have even more authority to commit the U.S. to foreign conflicts without congressional approval, arguing that the War Powers Act was unconstitutional. Many critics of Trump's bombing of Iranian nuclear sites over the weekend suggested that Trump violated the law by not seeking congressional approval to go to war, a key provision of the War Powers Act. It also requires that the president inform Congress within 48 hours of use of military force. Obviously, President Trump did that. I don't understand that. So if there is a rising threat that is going to potentially knock out America or cause us great destruction and harm within 2 hours, the president has to seek congressional approval within 48 hours, that makes no sense to me. Obviously, President Trump did that. Obviously, in the modern era with the 24-hour news cycle and social media, nothing goes by unnoticed. That's what I've thought the whole time. Like, Donald Trump had been announcing, he's now announced a couple days before that he's hoping for diplomacy, but it'd probably be striking Iran within the next 2 weeks. And it was like 2 days later, probably 48 hours later. With 24 hours news cycle on social media, nothing goes by unnoticed. This might have made some sense in 1973, but I'm not even sure it was constitutional, Johnson said, adding, and I'll tell you about that as well. Many respected constitutional experts argue that the War Powers Act is itself unconstitutional. I'm persuaded by that argument. They think it's a violation of the Article 2 powers of the Commander-in-Chief. I think that's right. If you look back at the founders' intent, you read the Federalist Papers, you read the records of the Constitutional Convention, I think that is right. And many more scholars believe the president is correct to use this executive authority in exactly the manner that he did over the weekend. I am a jealous guardian of Congress's Article 1 authority. We are the defenders of it here, and we take it seriously, and I always will be. But exercising the authority to declare war isn't something we've done since World War II. That's correct. We've had many conflicts up until between World War II and now, where Congress, well, I think he gets into that. And everybody in this room knows since then, we've had more than 125 military operations from Korea and Vietnam to Iraq and Afghanistan. They have occurred without a declaration of war by Congress. Presidents of both parties have exercised that authority. That's what I was saying. Every president that was elected, at least in as far back of my life as I can remember, has made strikes and attacks on foreign nations without congressional approval or a declaration of war by Congress. It's how they have kind of gotten around the issue of declaring war, because that carries with it a heavy weight. You could argue that many of the actions we've taken across the world since World War II were a full-scale war. Oh, that's it. So that's the end of the article, and I think Mike Johnson is right on this. You know, I think the president should have the ability to exercise the power and might of the military without the approval of Congress in every instance. So there you have it. That's just a quick article I ran across. I wanted to share with you guys. I just think it's hilarious how the congressional members are falling apart suddenly because Donald Trump made airstrikes against Iran when, you know, Bill Clinton made airstrikes. Nobody said they weren't upset about that. When George Bush did, I remember a little bit of flack from when George Bush did, but they all jumped right on board when it came to going to the Iraq war. Joe Biden, Barack Obama bombed multiple nations. He was not shy about dropping bombs in Middle Eastern countries. So, and Democrats weren't losing their minds then. So this is all just a lot of trying to find something to rally voters behind, to gain support on, because Democrats have completely lost support of pretty much everyone, including their donors. I read an article the other day that they're struggling to find funds to keep their party moving toward the initiatives that they want to accomplish because donors are dropping out. Their unpopularity is just off the charts lately. So anyways, that's what I've got for you. If you have anything you'd like to add, if you have some corrections or you have something to offer me to help me understand better, let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, and I love having a conversation and I love having conversations with you guys in the comments. I try to be respectful, and that's all that I ask from you. You can carry and voice in whatever your opinion is, but please just try to keep it civil. and respectful with each other. Please drop a like if you got anything out of this, and consider subscribing. I'll catch you guys next time. Later.